Okay. Okay, we're a little bit earlier, guys. You can just give me an indication. Shoo! That's quite unexpected. Yeah, we're a little bit early. You can just give me a thumbs up if sound is fine.
Happy New Year to you too.
Yo, I've never never seen a live feed as that lit up that quick. When I said hi, it's like we're up to 200 viewers. Thank you so much, guys. Okay, I think we're close enough to 2 o'clock to start off. First, from me, Leonie, and the children, thank you so much for a tremendous year that we could spend with you once again. Some of my old friends are not on this page. Some of you are. Some of us have been coming together now, I think since 2010, 2007, I can't remember, it was about there. I had a huge CCMA Facebook page around 2007. It was closed down at some point. They said I was anti-Semitic. I still don't know why. But anyhow, we started up again, and here we are, nearly a decade later, still going strong and getting stronger. So thank you so much for anything and everybody and everything that's been done and all the support through the many years. You've seen me, Skalk, going through a lot of phases in my life, a lot of hurt, a lot of pain, a lot of very nice things happening. But here I am, and I'm still with you, and I will always be here as long as God's good grace is with us. Leonie climbed on last year. She became part of my life last year, and it's been an absolute pleasure to have her with me as a partner, now as a wife, as a girlfriend previously. You do not know, you don't have the faintest idea of what part of my life she has become. Never mind shield maiden. She's my better half in every literal way that you can think about. Leonie, so thank you so much, my dear.
Thank you.
I don't get emotional on public videos, obviously, but yeah, I'm sitting here. I don't even have words to describe what role you play in my life, and what role you play in my children's lives, and what role you're actually starting to play now in my family's lives. You're a changer, you're a game changer, you're somebody that when your magic touch is there, things just simply turn to gold. I've never seen it before in my life.
Thank you, my love.
Excellent. I think we're on 2 o'clock. I like to be prompt. That is why I always have a lot of time devices around me. I know I irritate Leonie with this. But yeah,
I'm not good with time.
I'm a little bit obsessed with time, because I know the absolute importance of time and the relevance of time, and if you waste time, what you're actually wasting, because it's something you can never get back. I want to reflect on the year that's gone. What a horrendous year, but what a magnificent year also. Worldwide, not only in South Africa, we've seen the trouncing and the demolishing of human rights across the board. Doesn't matter race, doesn't matter creed, color. I had my own journey. You know me from previously as quite nationalistic. My views were very much centered around the issue of culture and language and all these things. This year taught me that everybody, literally everybody, is in the same boat. There's good guys and there's bad guys, and that's basically the only distinction there is. It doesn't make me soft in my political views on conservatism and all these other aspects, but I've come to realize that the only line in the sand divides the good guys and the bad guys. Not the white guys and the black guys, not the Jews and the Gentiles. It's simply who has goodness in his heart and who has not goodness in his heart. And that's the line. That's the only line there is. In South Africa, we've seen the ANC government going berserk. They've abused power as never before. They've stolen trillions of rands, trillions of dollars. They've gone unchecked, and I will get to that in a moment. We know that they will not stop doing that. We know that the ANC, and if you go back on my YouTube feed, you will find a video called "The ANC is not a political party, it's an organized crime ring." The ANC is not here for politics, they're here for crime. They're a mechanism to commit huge crime, huge organized crime. And it will not stop. They will not stop. Mr. Ramaphosa, with the greatest respect, and I know you personally, I've met you more than once, and you know what I think about you. My view on you is that you are also in the criminal fray of things. Unfortunately, that is how it is. If you try to portray Zuma, who is a criminal, in that bad light, shame on you. It's the pot calling the kettle black. No pun intended. You know as well as I do what you're doing is against law on many levels. I spoke this week when I was in Marikana again to those people, many of those families, still today, more than a decade I think after what happened there, still blaming you and saying, what did you do? Why did you give the orders to the police to shoot? Why did you give the orders for our dads and our people to die? Yes, there's a lot to be said about the incident that happened there, the provocation of those people. There's a lot of evidence showing that the mine workers would not have gone into the field, the battlefield, if they were not provoked from the inside by agents provocateurs, exactly what you were trying to do 2 or 3 months now in South Africa. And what I want you 3 times, and then I said, now I've spoken enough. You wanted to provoke those workers at Marikana in the same way that you wanted South Africa to be provoked into a civil war. What happened in Natal? Yes, we can blame it on the Zuma faction, but we all know today that there was a much deeper and a much more sinister plan. There was a provocation of civil war, and we stopped it. We stopped it in Natal. There was a provocation in Senekal where myself and the lady sitting here were personally, and we had the information of what was going on at Senekal, where once again there was a provocation for South Africa to fall into the trap of civil war, of racial civil war, because this is where it's going to. But we've stopped you, and we stopped you now numerous times, and we're not going to stop in what we are doing. We can see your plan. We know exactly what you're busy with. It's not going to work in South Africa. I once spoke to a person that I personally see as a low-life, bleeding heart liberal, Koptuk. Not the Koptuk that you are thinking about, Zuma, the other Koptuk, Piet Kroukamp. And I said to Piet, what will cause South Africa to stand up together, to make an alliance together? And he said, well, it's going to take a big enough enemy. Well, you landed us the big enough enemy, and you landed it in the form of COVID, and you landed it in the form of mandatory vaccination. We now have a common enemy, whether we are white, black, green, purple, doesn't matter, rich, poor, we have our common enemy, and that is mandatory vaccination. You handed it to us on a silver platter, but you didn't realize it. So be warned again. We see through you, we know what you're busy with. It didn't work, and it's not going to work in future. We're standing together now, shoulder to shoulder, and we're opposing you on every single front that we can as civilians. And that is where I want to come to my next part of my reflection. Political parties, Where are you? You're sitting in Parliament, average parliamentarian gets 120,000 plus salary per year, per month, plus perks. You cost us about 2 million per person per year. Where are you? Why are you not fighting for our rights? Why are you quiet?
Because they don't care.
Because they are paid opposition. They are part of the system.
They have their money, so why would they care about the people who lost their jobs, their money, everything?
Exactly, Leonie, exactly. So, Freedom Front Plus, where are you? DA, where are you? And I will call every single one of you out because you failed us. Last year, when the measures for lockdown were introduced, you were standing smiling and very full of yourself with Ramaphosa on TV. You were part of it. You complicit in what happened the last 2 years, and you will not be forgotten. Nuremberg 2, 3, 4, Nuremberg is coming for you too. We will go after you. We know that you are complicit. We know that you collaborated. That is why you are quiet. The only party in Parliament, and I'm not very fond of them either, for very, very different reasons. The only party in Parliament standing up is the ACDP. They are fighting that case of the children in High Court. So kudos to you, but I still don't trust you because I know where your funding comes from, and I know you're also part of the whole thing. But at least you spoke up. My next hassle is with the legal fraternity, and I will come back to that also later on. Where's the legal fraternity? Where are you defending the human rights of South Africans? I don't see you. I don't see you in droves offering your services for free. Where are you? You lost a golden opportunity, brothers and sisters, to become the heroes of South Africa. You could have snatched this one. It's a legal term. We know exactly what we mean when we speak about snatch. You could have snatched this because it's an actual very easy play that we are busy with. But you didn't. Where are you? Trade unions. Why is it that Schalk van der Merwe, who is a labor consultant working for employers, why is it that I have to go on record fighting for the rights of employees? It's not my job. Unions, where are you? You're taking money from your members every single month, and you first to feed when money is given from Parliament and from government, and you stand there and you fatten yourself after the fees of your members. Where are you? Where are you when you were needed the most? Why was it for Schalk van der Merwe that came from the other side to come and do your job? We have AMCU today standing up, one trade union standing up. We have a second one, a small one, Biavusa, the in Pretoria, 2 trade unions standing up. 2 out of a unionized workforce in South Africa that squeals the moment something affects the wages of employees because it affects the charges that you may levy from them. Mm-hmm. The rest of the time, when you were really needed, you were quiet. How many cases at CCMA did you refer? Hundreds? Thousands? Maybe not even dozens. We don't know where you are. When people from the Cape, that poor guy that climbed on my Facebook some time ago, he and his 7 co-employees, unionized workers, I'm not going to mention the name of the union, when they were faced with termination of their jobs on their last paycheck for the year, here's your paycheck, but from now on you don't work here because you're not vaccinated. Boom, 7 families gone. Where were you? that meeting after meeting with you, that you couldn't help them, you wouldn't help them. I had to help them, free of charge. Where were you? You're a failure. Solidarity, AfriForum, taking millions of rands per month. Where are you? You can't even decide on which side of the fence you are. You want to play... Ja, it's called a draadsitter, man. Laat ek nou sommer oorslaan na Afrikaans toe, man. Want julle is Afrikaners. Julle is ruggraatloos, man. Daar is nie 'n ruggraat in julle nie. AfriForum, julle vat honderde duisende rande, indien nie miljoene rande nie. Elke maand van julle lede. Maar dan kom julle op die einde, op die tailgate, na ek al die werk gedoen het. En mense soos ek al die werk gedoen het. En julle kom skryf 'n briefie vir Ramaphosa. Een briefie, waar julle vir hom dreig en sê, as jy voortgaan, sal ons stappe teen jou neem. Maar dan is mense vinnig om vir Skalk van der Merwe te sê, jy's 'n fraud, jy vat geld van mense en jy gee nie 'n diens nie. Draai bietjie julle gesig na AfriForum toe. Gaan vra vir hulle, waar is die miljoene rande heen, wat elke maand geneem word van hulle lede. Maar julle respons, die enigste respons wat julle het, is een enkele briefie aan Ramaphosa, wat hy heel waarskynlik afgelag het. Julle het ons gefaal. Solidariteit AfriForum, julle het ons gefaal. Ek praat met julle kapteins op die grond. Weet jy hoe disgusted is hulle in julle? Daai mense wat die hard werk doen, daai mense wat die buurtwagte is, daai mense wat op werksvloer staan, die solidariteit shopstewards op werkvloer, wat opbel hoofkantoor toe en geen antwoord kry nie. Daai mense is dik vir julle. En ek gaan hulle draai. Mark my words.
Ons het 'n groot span wat saam met ons staan en wat saam met ons fight. En dis die mense wat saak maak. Dis die mense wat saam met ons 'n verskil in hierdie toekoms gaan maak.
Kom ons praat oor die media. Media, waar is julle? Op 'n groot skaal word aan Suid-Afrika menseregte aangetast. Op 'n groot skaal. Die enigste ouens wat daaroor skryf, is die swart Engelse media. Die ou kommunistiese media. Dis die enigste ouens wat daaroor skryf. En Citizen. En Maverick. Daily Maverick. Eintlik die bad guys. Waar is die res van julle? Hoekom kom julle nie saam met my na werksplekke toe en gaan sien wat daar aangaan nie? Hoekom kom julle nie saam met my na ouerhuise toe nie? Hier sit die ou nie wat met die ouerhuis sake deel. Hoekom gaan kyk julle nie wat gaan in daai plekke aan nie? Hoekom exposeer julle nie daai mense nie?
Nee, hulle glo eerder liegstories wat versprei word. Dis wat.
Ek sê dit vandag vir julle en ek sê dit sonder enige oomlikse aarzeling. Ek weet en julle weet, julle is op die payroll van die bad guys. Onthou wat ek gesê het net nou, van die lyn in die sand. Ons weet dit. Ons weet presies waar ons met julle staan. Kerke. Waar is die kerke? Wie is die ouens wat opgestaan het uit die Christelike gemeenskap? Die swart Christenkerke. Ek weet van drie blanke kerkgenootskap, kerke, wat opgestaan het. Andre, ek praat onder andere van julle, dankie daarvoor. Die groot megakerke, die groot charismatiese kerke, die groot broeder, suster gemeens, wat noem mense die bly goed, die groot susterkerke. Waar is julle? Julle moedig eerder dit aan. Julle moedig dit aan. Ek gaan praat met Bishop Mashishane, ek vra vir hom, hoekom maak jy 'n saak vir teen Ramaphosa? Ramaphosa sê dan op sy video's en sy talks with the nation, hy het met die kerke gepraat, hy het met julle gekonsulteer, Mashishane lag daaroor. Hy sê vir my, Skalk, there was not consultation with one single church that I know of, and I represent 400 different church groups in South Africa. Right? Maar julle staan nie op nie. Julle staan nie op nie. Waar is julle kerke? Weet julle wie het opgestaan? Die moslems. Hulle was eerste toe daar hofsaake gemaak is, om 'n hand op te steek en te sê, we've had enough. we're going to fight this thing now. So wie's nou die goeie ouens en wie's die slegte ouens? People from the Jewish faith, where are you? Where are you? The Orthodox Jewish people in South Africa, as across the rest of the world, is against vaccination because it's against your religion. You can see what's happening in Israel. They are genociding you again. But you quiet. Where are you? It is time, people, that we see who are the bad guys and who are the good guys. I wanted to come back to the legal fraternity. Earlier this year, 2 or 3 months ago, I put my career, and this lady's career, and my family, I put them all on hold, because I made the following offers. I said, if you are already dismissed because of forced vaccination, I will assist you for free. I will assist you up to the point that you have a case in CCMA with a case number and you can go and fight for yourself. And if you need me after that, I will still be available for you. I will refer you to the best attorneys that there are. And I will refer you to a trade union. For free. I go up and draw documents based on law. Because I'm a lawyer. Ek is 'n regsgeleerde with 20 years experience. I presided in every flippant forum that you can think of in South Africa. I know my law. I assisted in the amending of parts of this law because it didn't work. For free, you get that advice. I go further to make an offer to say to you, for a nominal fee of 850 rand once off, I will assist you if you're not dismissed yet, to open a file for you, to make sure everything is in place, to enforce you, to make it easy for you, to give you all the law, to give you all the tools, to even go and advise, and even speak to your employer. Right? For 850 rand, it costs me per client plus minus 2,000 rand to do that. I work at a loss of 1,200 rand per client. Never mind the free advice. Never mind my business that's been put on hold. Never mind my precious metals and diamond business in Northern Cape, who hasn't seen me in 3 months. Never mind the energy business in Welkom that hasn't seen me in 3 months, from which I make millions if I put my mind to it. And I put my labor into it. And I apologize today to my partners in those businesses. I wasted your time because I assisted people. I wasted my time. What did I get in return for that? Between me, this beautiful lady sitting here, my children and my family, I'm being scorned and ridiculed on Facebook. I'm dragged before the media to be exposed. Exposed what? That I'm assisting people. Are you crazy? So my offer is off. No more freebies. If you want to assist, to have my assistance, and you want to use me as your consultant, it's now on a simple business basis. You call me, you sign off a document with me, my usual service document, and you become a client of mine. And you pay my fees, which is not 850 rand. Because I'm an expert in what I do. I charge, and I know how to charge. So the freebies are off. I will assist the people until yesterday, that's in my inboxes, on the old terms. But as from today, no more 850 and no more free services. It's gone. It's gone. And don't be angry at me, and I know that you as a loyal follower are not. Go and thank the jealous attorneys who run to the High Court to even block me at the High Court. And run to the Legal Practice Council and make up lies and distribute that on social media. Run to them. But I'm finished. No more free stuff. Okay? After this video, I will put you in contact. I will give you the addresses, the contact details of the following. LFN, I know Reino is helping people, whatever he does, I don't know, he's helping people. LFN, go to him, right? There's an organization called MIRIC. I will give you their particulars. Go and speak to them. As simple as that. Go to the Legal Practice Council. Very easy. I will give you the contact details. Get yourself a lawyer in your area, an advocate, an attorney. Go to him. Or go to a labor consultant. Go and get a quote from them. I'm finished. If you want to use my services, you pay me and you go into a contract like any other of my clients the past 15 years. But the free stuff is gone now. Okay. Let's look at who the good guys were. AMCU, the trade union AMCU. Those people that we thought the bad guys, they're actually the good guys. They are fighting the system. I have tremendous respect for them. I didn't have it. If you asked me a month ago about AMCU, I would have said to them, to you, they're a bunch of communist bastards that needs to be eradicated from the soil of the land. But I've been changed, because I went to them and I spoke to them and I saw in them the earnest in them and what they actually stand for. They are heroes in my eyes today. NIASA, National Employees Association of South Africa, Gerrit Papenfoos, you're a man amongst men. You stood out alone when nobody else was standing up on behalf of employers to say, my members are not going to buy into this nonsense. I have tremendous respect for you. I salute you for what you did. Bishop Mashishane, South African National Christian Forum, I salute you for standing up as a Christian and fighting this thing on behalf of the churches. You're a hero. I salute you. 2022, it's going to be a tough year, guys. It's going to be a very tough year. Don't think the bad guys have finished.
Not at all.
They are sitting in their trenches, and they are sitting in their foxholes, and they are licking their wounds that amongst other people I inflicted, and she inflicted on them. We hit them and beat them hard. We hit them so bloody hard that they started to run away. They changed their timelines. We know what goes on in the boardrooms of the big corporations. We know Schalk van der Merwe is discussed there. We know those things. Ramaphosa, we know in your presidency, my videos are dissected word for word because you're looking for something to have me arrested upon. But I will not give that to you because I'm a patriot of South Africa. I work within the bounds of the law of South Africa. You're not going to catch me in that way. I'm not a stupid right-winger standing around the Braaivleis fire saying this and that and the following. I'm going to shoot the president, no, and I'm going to do this and that and the following. I know how to fight you. We fight you with law. And we win. And that is why you were so bloody scared that on Christmas Eve you went and you appointed new judges. That is how scared you are of me. Because you know I'm coming for you. And you can't stop me. The same way I did with who was supposed to be your enemy, Ace Magashule here in the Free State. I'm coming for you and you know it and you can't stop me. Because I work within the bounds of law. Law that is 3,000 years old, that you do not even understand. But 2022 is going to be a tough year. We're going to have to have backbone to survive 2022. The real shit is about to hit the fan. Don't be lulled into thinking all these little measures that they are now relaxing and you're so thankful for. Don't be lulled into peace and quiet on that. We know what they are busy with. We know the next thing is coming, and it's going to be big, and it's going to be harsh, and it's going to make COVID-19 and lockdown seem like a little walk in the park on a Sunday afternoon. Don't think the bad guys have stopped. They just tested you. They just tested you. And now they know where they stand with you. And they know where the weak points are. Don't be stupid to think that COVID was the big thing. It was your enemy testing your defenses. It was seeing who are the men that will stand on the ramparts and who are the sissies who will not. That is what happened. But you didn't realize that. Now I'm telling it to you. How do we beat this thing? Standing together? We know that's not going to happen. They've divided us over generations. Every one of the good men and women. Forget about this thing of now we all stand together like little frogs in Paul McCartney's song. It's not going to happen. No. Wake up. Wake up. You're fighting alone. And you need to keep on fighting alone. Because if enough of us are fighting alone, they can kill off the next one and the next one and the next one, but they will not stop the fight. And that is why we do not go for this thing of we all stand together, because then they defeat us once. Every one of you are generals, and every one of you have an army. Fight. And fight like you've never fought before. Because it's our survival that's on the line now. It's your child's survival. It is the choice. Will your child be a slave in 5 years' time from now? In 3 years' time from now? That is what you're fighting for. That is why you can draw blood and fight, fight, fight. And I'm not talking war now. I'm not taking up arms, speaking about taking up arms. This fight is one in the spirit, and it's something that is done in the law. You will have to fight every single day of your life, every single second of your life, until this thing is beaten. You will have to fight. We're sitting with one of the best constitutions in the world. Yes, I will say that unreservedly. It just saved us from a lot of hooligans taking our land. It just saved us. It just saved us from being disarmed as a population. It is the best bloody constitution in the world. Use it. Use your human rights. Stand on them. Grow a backbone. Become a rebel. Be a patriot to your country, not to a person. You South Africans, what have your ancestors, what have your predecessors not gone through in this country? And you think it's hard times now? Go and read your history. Go and see what we went through for this country. Ons sal lewe, ons sal sterwe, ons vir jou Suid-Afrika. So you will have to fight. It's here. You can't think yourself out of it anymore. You can't lull yourself in the evening before you put your head to your cushion to think, I'm not part of this. I can think myself out of this. Tomorrow it will be better. It's not going to be better if you do not make it better. Section 235. I've been fighting for Section 235 for close on a decade. The right to self-determination of people in South Africa. Language groups, cultural groups, groups of all types. It's now your time to take Section 235 and exercise your rights, because if you do that per group, you become a single unit and another unit and another unit that they have to fight one by one. How are they going to beat us if the Tswanas stand up and say, we want our rights now? And the Afrikaners say, we want our rights now. And the Zulus say, we want our rights. And the Cape Colored say, we want our rights. How are they going to defeat us? They can't. Use Section 235. Democracy. What is democracy in South Africa? Democracy is voting in for the ANC for 27 years because people get grants. And they are scared if they stop voting ANC, they will lose that little bit, that little pittance that the ANC is giving them. That is why they vote ANC. It goes about survival, not political loyalty. How do we counter that? We counter that with direct democracy. You get a person in your community and you mandate that person to speak on your behalf. And if he doesn't do his job, you fire him and you get a better one. But you bring direct democracy to ground level now. In 1.5 years, 2 years from now, there's going to be a national election. Yes, it's going to happen. It's going to happen. And in that election, we enforce direct democracy on the ground. You go to a person in your community and you get that person to represent you. That is how you beat this thing. That is how you break the system up. You become self-reliant in your community. You look after your own water. You look after your own electricity. You look after your own food supplies. That is how you beat this enemy. You look after your own health. You make sure that your body is yours. That is how you fight this thing. I will close off now. I think we've had a long meeting this afternoon. You usually do not see me as fired up as I was this afternoon. But 2022 is going to take balls. And if you do not have balls, then you must get out of this fight now. Ons het nie draadsitters nodig nie. Daar is die deur, daar gaan jy. So you're either part of the team or you're not. You're either fighting or you're not fighting. But you make your decision this afternoon. 2022 is the year that will crunch. The shit will hit the fan in 2022. And I'm not fear-mongering, I'm being realistic. Because I know things that most people out there do not know. That is why I'm giving you this warning. You will have to fight. And she will have to fight. I will have to fight. And if we don't, then we do not deserve to be free men and free women anymore. Then we deserve to be the slaves of the system. So think about that. Leonie, anything from your side?
Well, I just think you have given people more than enough information about the law, how to protect themselves. So just go have a look at Scott's videos, the information he sends out. You will get all the information you need there to protect yourself. The law have not changed yet. So you can still say no to the jab. So you can still not get fired because you refuse to get the jab. So just go and look at his stuff. You will find everything there.
There's an ancient call, ancient war cry. People think it's Robbie Leibrand and the National Socialist movement in the 1930s in South Africa. Go and dig a little bit deeper into history. There's an old war call. It goes like this. God met ons. God with us. And then you take your sword and you draw it. Do not tempt a righteous man to draw his sword. And that was my warning from day one. But you take your sword because you're a righteous man and a righteous woman. And then you bloody fight because your God is on your side. And that God, let me break it to you, that God, the God of the blood river and the God of the Gideon is a war God. He will fight with you, but you will have to fight. You will have to call down the armies of the heavens. If you are not willing to do that, that God will not assist you. He will not help you. Call down your God of war now. You know what to do for the coming year. I salute everybody on my page. I salute every one of my friends and my supporters. I will be here. As long as it takes, I will be here. And I know she will be here. I've tested her. I bloody tested her as hard as I can do, and she didn't break. She will also be here. So good afternoon to you guys.
And a Happy New Year to everybody.
I salute you. Happy New Year.